Hi all, I'm Cheryl Diane Swing, and my motto, we die once, but we get to live every single day. So every single day, I'm intentional about getting up, dressing up, and showing up. It's so funny that just yesterday I was talking to a colleague of mine about careers. We were talking about the shift. When I was growing up, and maybe her to a point, that the young lady to a point, when everybody wanted to become a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or something like that. And we were talking about the fact that nowadays, in this time, so many persons have achieved their academic qualifications, but their businesses have nothing at all to do with what they are qualified to do. I mean, in that academically, people have recognized that the cliche thing is no longer really applicable. We can do whatever we want to do. If we want to set up a shop or a mini mart or a dress store, we can do that. We could turn whatever. The fact is to have the education, so you have the knowledge in a wider sense. You don't have to stick to that career thing. Because it's not a rat race out there. There's a time a couple of years ago in Trinidad and Tobago here where doctors couldn't find work. Young doctors could not find a place to intern. Can you imagine that? When I was growing up, a doctor was like a big deal, a teacher was like a big deal. And now there's another career path. Now entrepreneurship is the big thing, which I strongly encourage. I strongly encourage it. To find a niche in the world, see what you're passionate about and do that. You don't have to stick to the cliche things. So I'm saying that to say, I was talking about this one particular person who we weren't friends. We connected a little bit, but her father and I were really good friends. He passed away, unfortunately, of cancer right at the beginning of COVID. When we had the lockdown and stuff, he passed. So there wasn't even a funeral for him. I mean, in the sense of people attending and all of that. And I guess that's why there was a little disconnect because she and I, like I said, was younger than I am. So we didn't have that. We weren't friends, but we knew each other. So I was telling this other person that was a medical doctor, and that she had her practice. First, she had a whole line of eyelashes. She did the Botox things. She did other things like that. She turned her medical practice into something that she loved because she's passionate about her makeup, about her style, and that kind of. You see, out at parties, always well dressed in colorful outfits, having a time. And I think I saw her at Carnival of this year in February, only to find out that this young woman passed away a couple of weeks ago. I did not know that. In talking about her, my friend, she said, let me Google her and see what she looks like. She said, but she died. And I was like, no, maybe it's the wrong, same name, but the wrong person profile that came up. It was not the wrong profile. It was the person I knew. I didn't know that. And I mean, I was in shock. Things happen, but you don't expect somebody who in the prime of their life, like 48 years old, doing what you're doing what you love, to wake up in the morning and find that you know. Some say that to say, listen, none of us is promised tomorrow. We need to live today. We got to die once, but we got to live. We got to live every day until that day comes. So one of my mottos is get up every day, get dressed up and show up. Because life, as my mother and the older people in my life would say, life happens. As the young people say, life be life in. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I would love to live to be 100. I mean, that's the truth. If I could be a nice, sexy 100-year-old woman. But I don't know. We don't know. So for right now, we need to live the way we need to live. To lift our heads up. To do what is right. To stay focused and intentional about who we are. And to give where we can. To serve others. I love serving. Love serving others. At my last conference in May, after all that hard work and tiredness, I'm telling you, it makes you tired. Just the planning and just the coordination of everything. The joy in my heart because of the networking that took place at that event. And I didn't realize until recently how many people stayed connected. They exchanged numbers, they're in touch with each other, they're meeting for tea, they're collaborating on business. The whole essence of becoming her. was to help women to understand that every single day until the day we are done, we are becoming who. So the hard work paid off big time. I am pleased to say that, I will do it again. Even every time, every year I say, not me and this thing again, but I will do it again. I want to encourage all of us to do what we need to do, live our passion. Figure out what you love, figure out what resonates deep inside of you. What are you passionate about? Is it about whatever it is? Making garments, opening a business of some kind, selling shoes. I'm just saying things. I'm doing whatever. My passion was also to take care of people. That's how I ended up in the field of aesthetics. Because I did study business, and at one time I thought I wanted to be in the field of accounting. Yes. I ended up with a 30-year career as an esthetician, morphed into image consultant, morphed into speaking, morphed into writing books and training. It's amazing. And all of my life, or my whole career path, I do firmly believe was orchestrated by God. I didn't plan this. There was nothing that told me I'd be speaking to women. There's nothing that told me I'd be hosting women's conferences. The aesthetic part, I liked it. I did my training. I opened my business. So that was, I thought I'll just do it until I retired. What ended up happening is that clients liked my clothes, they liked the way I dressed, and they kept asking about it. And I found there was something called image consulting. I did the color analysis thing first, and I did the figure types, and I did next thing I ended up doing creating wardrobes for women, helping them with their wardrobe planning and that kind of thing. The next thing after that, I was asked to speak to women's groups about how to present themselves. And then I did the training as a speaker with Lisa Nichols, and then the rest is history, as they say. I firmly believe that God organized and orchestrated my career path for me. Because as a girl, I did not have it written down at all. I know some of my friends wanted to be teachers, nurses, doctors. I had no idea. I always admitted, I was a very dreamy kind of a person, daydreamer. I wanted to do something good, but didn't know exactly what I wanted to be. I didn't have a career path in mind. There was nobody I looked up to who was doing something and I felt I want to be like that person. I just was free thinking, dreamt a lot. Used to like to draw a lot, write things down a lot. But here I am today. Maybe God was preparing my mind to have that kind of a mindset, to be able to get into this place where I can treat other women the way they need to be treated, to speak life into them, to do the mindset work that I do, to author the books that I've written, to do the trainings that I do, and I do enjoy it. I love serving others. I love empowerment, and I love to continue to learn and grow every single day. Sitting in these meetings week after week, learning things and trying to always be at a level. I love to learn. It is something that we all need to do all the time. There's nobody who knows everything. And as we live, we learn. We need to continue to learn and grow. So, yeah. I also want to continue my YouTube channel and my podcast. I need to be consistent. I keep starting and stopping because life happens, right? Or as the young would say, life be lifing, right? I need to organize that area. I'm a very organized person, but that part I need to organize and be consistent in my weekly posts. It doesn't have to be long. There are things happening all around us that we need to talk about. We know that. I don't want to get into politics. I'm not going there at all. But all of us need to use our brains to think about what we're doing, see where we're heading, think about our children and our grandchildren that are going to come into the world. Think about our future when we, think about our conversations. Most of all, I'd like us to love ourselves enough to know that self-care is not selfish. We need to look after ourselves. We need to be stronger in looking after ourselves on a daily basis. Because the cliche, we know the cliche to put on the oxygen mask first, right? If we're not good, because we're not taking care of ourselves, we cannot be good to anybody else. It starts with self. There's an old saying, a charity begins at home. And that means, we're not talking about a house here, we're talking about ourselves. To begin to look after ourselves. So we are healthy, wealthy, and wise. So we can pass it on to others. There's no point in living on this existing on this earth if we're not going to be looking after ourselves. Running ourselves, our blood to water, as my mother would have said, and not taking care of ourselves. We got to take that deep breath first, put in our oxygen mask first, and make sure we are doing the right thing for ourselves. And it means getting up on mornings. I don't know what your morning routine is like. Early enough before the sun comes up. With prayer. With some quiet time to listen for to God's voice. Exercise, moving our bodies. Eating a proper breakfast. I do believe in that. 100%. Having that first meal of the day is important. Not midday, not 1 o'clock, not 2 o'clock. I know people do it and there's something called some kind of fasting. I don't understand that. You need to eat when you wake up on mornings. Taking care of ourselves is important. So we are stronger, we are healthier, we have a better mindset. I don't know about any of you all. When I'm hungry, my mind doesn't function. Not very well at all. Not very well. So let us put what we need to put in our bodies. Let us shift our mindset into again being intentional and focused. Create our watchwords. So every day we wake up, we know what we're going to do today. Right? Intentional and focused. Get up, dress up, show up, regardless. Because when life happens sometimes, you could find yourself sitting in a corner for the entire day. I know that I do that sometimes. I'm guilty of that. I'm trying to get myself out of it. And in my next video, I'll tell you all something that I'm doing that is helping me to navigate life a little easier. Because I lived in the dark for too long. Sitting there and wondering why. Even though I'm working so hard and putting things in place. I have decided to make a change because God gave me the power to do that. To get up, dress up, show up, make a difference. Take care of me first so that I will have the strength, the right mindset, the ability to help anybody else. I will talk to you all again the next time.